Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, who's decked out in camouflage gear this morning. Welcome in retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
This is camouflage, okay. Hey, good morning, Moore County. Good morning, unfortunate Aberdeen, as the pilot, Prob to the Pines, likes to refer to you. Hey, and it is trash day in the Pines, so head on down the end of your driveway, pick up that prepackaged trash, bring it in. You know, the holidays are coming up. You got to clean your windows, so you can use that and some vinegar. Does a nice job on your windows. And if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, Thursday, from 6 to 7 or 6 to 9, the Civil War Roundtable here in Moore County will be meeting at the Southern Pines Civic Club in the corner of Ash and Pennsylvania. They're going to have Charlie Knight, who is the curator of the North Carolina Museum of History, and he's going to talk about Civil War flags and North Carolina specific Civil War flags and their history and the collection that they have up in Raleigh. So that'll be an interesting talk.
At least they have up there in Raleigh for now, until the Dems get hold of it and scrub history.
Well, I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where that link is located. Just click on that, and that will get you there. If you're on your mobile device, use YouTube and put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device and just need our audio stream, we suggest TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Those are 3 apps right there that will work. Just put WEEB in the search. And if you're on our website at talk973.com, that icon in the upper right-hand corner of every page that says, On the Air, Listen Live. Click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Sunshine returns. Look for a high of 61 tonight, clear and 636 tomorrow. Pretty much a carbon copy of today. Sunny with a high of 59. Then 45 for your low Thursday night. Friday, partly cloudy, 66. Next chance of rain comes in here Friday night into Saturday. Look for 51 for low Friday night. 60% chance of showers Saturday with a high of 62. And then Sunday back to sunshine and 56. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are west-northwest at 3. Visibility 5 statute miles. Pressure 3006. Dew point 40. Humidity 96%. It's foggy and 41 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM. 104.1 FM and 990 AM WEEB. All right. Now we're all got a few pounds shaken off. We can move forward.
Oh, well, now you got to go get a apple fritter and put them back on.
Yeah. Southern Angel Donuts is the place to do it. When we're sleeping, the Angels were baking fresh, heavenly donuts. Southern Angel Donuts, Homestead Village Shopping Center, open 6A to 5P, and tell them the Leader Man and WEEB sent you. And they're in the back location of Homestead Village there, back left. And also, don't forget, this morning's show is brought to you by Weichert Realtors, Town and Country. Whether you're ready to buy or sell now or even in a year from now, call the experts at Weichert's to get your service that you deserve when you're buying or selling your home. Weichert Realtors, Town and Country, 910-235-3685. That's 235-3685. All righty. 7:37 past the hour. Let's work our sound bites. By the way, they came out with Time Magazine put out a series of list of the best movies, TV, music, and books for the past decade. Here are the top 10 best songs.
Songs, okay.
Of the decade.
I might have actually heard 1 or 2 of these. I don't know.
Well, let's see if you know who they are and their title. Here's number 1.
Nope.
Chime in when you know here. The first one was, you know what?
It's a female singer.
Rolling in the Deep by Adele. Here's two. That's,
No clue.
we just played her. Taylor Swift. It's
Oh,
called All Too Long. All Too Well.
all too well. All right.
Here's the third best song of the decade, according to Time magazine.
Is that an original song or a remake? I mean, it sounds like nothing, to be honest.
It says it's called It Ain't Fun by Paramore.
Yeah, well, it wasn't fun. They were right about that.
Okay. Bet you could tell the name of that one, can't you?
Getting drunk on a plane.
I'm getting drunk on a plane by Derek Bentley.
Not anymore. You get drunk on a plane, they'll throw you off.
Or Derek's Bentley. Plural.
No clue who he is.
Last but not least,
Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
this is Little Nas X
The old town road. I'm gonna ride.
called Old Town Road. I guess you got to name it something.
I guess. I have. What's the name of the band or the group or whatever?
Down that one,
Yeah, that last one.
Little Nas X.
Okay. All right.
The
That's just-
Doobie Brothers back in the news. They announced the 30-day city North American tour to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the band's founding. Tom Johnson, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McFray will be back on tour together for the first time in nearly 25 years. In other words, the royalty checks is getting smaller. They made the announcement at the conclusion of their performance Monday night at the legendary Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. Michael McDonald took the stage during the band's encore, gave a surprise performance of Taking It to the Streets. Then Pat made the big announcement to celebrate. Here's a montage. That's the montage you've been listening to of them live in concert.
Yeah. Well, inflation, like you say, and they're not playing anymore, so they're not playing as much.
Let's see. The Political Correctness Christmas outlet has changed its name.
Okay.
It's become even more politically correct. Oh, I'm shocked. Even Santa.
The politically correct Christmas outlet has a new name. Now we're the politically correct winter solstice outlet. You won't find tired Christmas decorations with enslaved reindeer struggling to lug around an old fat white guy at the PC Winter Solstice outlet. Instead, we feature Santa Human, a secular holiday person who is definitely not cruel to animals or little people and doesn't discriminate, even between naughty and nice. And at the politically correct Winter Solstice outlet, all of our products are certified to be organic, made with eco-friendly, 100% recyclable material, biodegradable, carbon-neutral, compostable, solar-powered with zero emissions, sweatshop-free, fur-free, plastic-free, BPA-free, gluten-free, and cage-free. On sale now. Pick up a box of gender-neutral gingerbread people only at the politically correct Winter Solstice outlet. Being woke ain't no joke at the PC Winter Solstice outlet.
Okay.
Well, now that we're just days away from Thanksgiving, maybe getting together with your family is tough. So here's something to think about.
And now, things that are more enjoyable than spending time with your family this Thanksgiving. Getting a root canal, kidney stones, washing your hair with sand, crashing on your bike and getting road rash, tearing your Achilles tendon, and gonadal torsion. Look it up. This has been things that are more enjoyable than spending time with your family this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Just in time for the holidays, the website toysafety.org released its list of the 10 most dangerous toys of the year. And one of them is a toy a lot of us had back in the day. It's called Pogo Trick Board. You recall this?
No, pogo trick board.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
And it's almost identical to the pogo ball a lot of kids had in the 80s. It's a board you stand on with a rubber ball in the middle, and you jump up and down.
Okay. I mean, I think I know what it is. I've seen one, but I never had one.
Well, here's an ad for the old version from 1987. Does that ring a bell?
Nope. That was mid-80s?
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah, I was OCS in the 80s.
I was building houses.
Over choppy seas. So, don't remember that one.
Sorry, I didn't get up on Saturday morning. I was tired. Okay. And I know this to be a real problem that some of the cops around here, not all, but some, on a boring night, will pull to the side of the road and play video games on their phone.
Okay.
A cop going 68 miles per hour slammed into the back of a woman in traffic who was only going 6 miles per hour, putting her in a coma for a month. He was watching a YouTube video on how to play the video game Grand Theft Auto. This is his 8th wreck. That was his fault.
Wait a minute. He's been in 8 wrecks, determined to be his fault, and he was still working at the police? That's amazing to me.
And what is this called, boys and girls? The Good Old Boys Club.
Well,
which runs deep in just about, not all, but just about every police agency.
That guy was getting away with something because he should have been terminated well before number 8. Should have been terminated after 1.
The woman he hit is deaf now, and this is her lawyer and reporter, and the reporter speaking out.
We don't believe there was any attempt to stop or swerve because he didn't see her because he wasn't looking.
He was looking somewhere else.
He was looking somewhere else.
And that terminal in the vehicle, certainly not intended for watching Grand Theft Auto videos.
Absolutely not. This wasn't an accident. This was a serious collision that could have and should have been avoided.
Yeah, he had a laptop, basically, terminal, MDS, whatever they call it in his police force. He's looking at the computer in his car. And, yeah, that's just bad news. That thing is distracting. I used to close mine all the time. It was just distracting as heck to have that thing up while you're riding around.
An online company called American Marijuana wants to pay someone up to $3,000 to test their product and blog about them online. Oh, dude, I can do it. Just point me to the employment line. They're not offering benefits with this job, but they will send you all the weed for free. Yeah, this reminds me of South Park where Tolley shows up to Stan's dad's pot farm and tests the product.
Yes, I'm with the state testing board. Is this Integrity Farms?
Name's right there on the sign. Come on back.
So with this vesting device, I can check not only the THC levels in your product, but also detect any impurities and give you a final score based on overall chemical makeup. Yep, that's good.
That show is, there's something seriously wrong with those two guys. But I don't care. They spare no one. I mean, they will gore everyone's ox at some point during that show. So, I applaud them.
Well, a new survey found that the top Christmas activities we enjoy doing with our kids include wrapping presents, shopping for gifts, getting a tree, baking cookies, and hanging stockings. Now, you know what you do when you've had too much of this Christmas fun, kids.
Right.
You do what every other kid in history has ever done. You walk out the door, only to hear Daddy say,
Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
there you go. The next one's pretty good, but it just the sound bite's just so weak on it. It's not. It ruins even doing it. All right, let's give you some good news this morning. Two policemen in Virginia responded to a crash on Friday and pulled a 57-year-old woman from a burning car just in time. One of their chest cams got the whole thing on video. The woman ended up being airlifted to a hospital in serious but stable condition, and no one else was in the car. Here's the audio where you can hear the fire crackling and everything.
Is anybody in there? Is anybody in there? All right. Is anybody in the back? I get it, okay? Is anybody else in the car? It's just you. Is anybody else in the car? It's just you. Get back, man. Get back. Quick, quick. Is anybody else in the car, man? Is anybody else in the car, okay? Can you hear me? Come on. Yeah, I got you. Come on. 2012, we got one. I can out of the vehicle. I know if there are other.
There's no one in the passenger seat, I don't think.
Okay.
I opened the door.
It's in go.
And here are two cops talking about it afterwards.
She was breathing but unconscious, so I was able to cut her seatbelt off and get her out.
As soon as we pulled her out, and you can see on the body cam footage, we're about 4 or 5 feet away from the vehicle dragging her, and the cab of the vehicle had just caught on fire. She was able to hear us, and she would nod, and she was making sounds, asking her if she could breathe and things, and she was nodding no and answering us.
We just kind of went in and did what we had to do.
We just did our job.
All right. Meanwhile, over in Australia, mate, Australia's been dealing with catastrophic brush fires that have killed at least 3 people and countless animals. At least we have one good news video making the rounds. It's a woman risking her life to rescue a koala in a burning forest. It's clinging to a tree, so she pulls it away and rests it on the ground to douse its body with water. Then she wraps it in a blanket and hands it off to a first responder.
Can you get water out of my car?
You want to put him in the blanket and bring him out of the hot stuff?
Okay.
He was on fire, huh? Yeah.
Well, he would have been, I guess. I don't know if he was already on fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, he'll live and get rehabilitated and get back to the wild someday, I hope. Or he'll live his days out in the sanctuary. Let's see. Anything else we got?
Munching eucalyptus leaves.
They bunch a bunch of them every day. I believe that's about it, unless I got the best. It'll be up here. All right, here are the best of the late night boys and their crappy jokes.
Actress in the new James Bond film says it will be the wokest Bond movie ever. The working title is Dr. No Means No.
Check this out. I saw that in China, you may soon be able to pay for items by just having your face scanned. Yeah, that's going to be a bummer when people hear, sorry, but your face has been declined.
Scientists have developed a new shark-proof wetsuit material that they say will reduce blood loss from shark bites, though it's still not as effective as my favorite method, land.
Kevin Hart will star in a documentary series on Netflix. The working title is Comedians in Cars Getting Concussions.
This isn't good. It came out today that hackers have stolen thousands of Disney Plus customers' information. I don't know what's worse, that my hackers have my account info or that they know I watched Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3 times on Monday.
Yeah, well, Disney. Okay.
Okay, whatever trips their trigger.
Well, the James Bond movie, if it's as bad as what they're saying, what I'm reading, they're going to lose their bundle on it. So, just like Charlie's Angels.
All right, some things we need to know so we don't sound stupid today. One of the iconic dresses, Princess Di wore, is going to be on the auction block and is expected to fetch upwards of almost $500,000. It was the one she wore at the 1985 State Dinner at the White House when then Ronald Reagan was there, where she also danced with Grease actor John Travolta.
God.
So they say.
It sends a shiver down my spine.
The final episode of Fuller House, I know you're disappointed about this, was recorded this week as Netflix is saying goodbye to the show after 5 years. Should have said goodbye after the first episode. They say cigarette rates in the U.S. is at an all-time low. It's because they're doing it with vaping. A vegan is suing Burger King, saying that that their Impossible Burgers are being cooked on the same grill that they're using to cook meat.
Oh, dear.
They don't use a grill. They use
I don't know what they
a
use.
little moving rack that goes through the flames are below.
Right.
And it's just like a little assembly line rack that the hamburgers are on. They're not sitting on a flat grill.
Yes, but there still would be meat byproduct on the rails of the little rack. So, people have nothing
Not if
better
they clean the rack before they...
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're dealing hamburger patties and there's a meat one, veggie one, meat one, veggie one, then I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't want to see it. This guy obviously has no life, has no challenge in his life other than to watch whether or not a veggie burger is cooked on a meat hamburger grill.
Well, here's an idea. Don't go to Burger King.
Yeah, find another. Well, yeah, I got another hint for him and another suggestion, but I better not say it on the air.
The Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago named their new baby camel. They named it... This is actually a good name.
Oh, for a camel, okay.
Alexander Camelton. Instead of Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, I got it.
It's not bad.
All right.
And need a job? Well, Kate Middleton's personal secretary is leaving after 2 years, like we care. Today's impossible question. This contains about 2/3 of the elements on the periodic table. What might it be?
What is it? What's the...
This item contains about 2/3 of the elements on the periodic table.
I don't know. Probably deep fried chicken.
How'd you know? An iPhone.
An iPhone
has about 75 elements in it.
There you go.
According to a recent survey, 70% of Instagram users have fewer than 1,000 followers. 40% have connected medical devices. 41% of connected medical device owners bought their device online or at a retail store.
Well, where else would you buy it if you didn't go to a store?
You get it from your doctor. Or...
Well, the doctor's going to send you out. They don't keep that stuff around the office. They send you to their little store that they're a part owner in and charge you some exorbitant rate.
Yeah.
I know. There's going to be doctors out in your parking lot with pitchforks after I've said that. But, they don't keep that stuff around the office for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, they don't.
Drug samples.
I got a knee brace at the doctor's office once.
Oh, did you? I've never been able to pick up something like that at a doctor's office. They always sent me out.
It was paid for by Medicare, so
well, that's
guess
it,
they keep a stock of them if they're going to get an automatic sale there. They said, "Would you like a knee brace?" Well, it's paid for by Medicare. Why, yes. Bring it on.
Yeah.
36% of people in the Good Housekeeping Survey said they always have chopsticks in their kitchen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have chopsticks in the kitchen.
Survey found that 40% of people have been burned by a seatbelt when it's hot outside.
Burned by a seatbelt.
Yeah, the metal part of it, I guess.
Well, all right, fine. I'm having trouble with that one. But
14% of college students change their majors at least once. Creative people are more likely to sleep on this side.
Creative people on their left side.
Left side is correct. You and I must be so creative.
Yes, there you go. I know that for a fact.
And experts estimate that you can get about 27,000 miles out of one of these.
27,000 miles out of a pen.
A shopping cart.
A shopping cart, okay. Get out of here.
You only get 5,000 miles before the wheel rattles off. And another 5 before it pulls left incessantly. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, we'll be back.
High pressure will continue to filter into our area, and that will allow us to see warmer temperatures this afternoon and plenty of sunshine. Look for highs in the mid to upper 50s and lower 60s. By the time we get into tonight, we'll stay mostly clear, and tomorrow, a few more clouds will build into our region, and temperatures will be warmer in the upper 50s and lower 60s by the afternoon. Rain chances will ramp up by the time we get into the end of the week. And this weekend, I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A key figure in the Democrats' public impeachment inquiry, Ambassador Gordon Sondland, testifies this morning before the House Intelligence Committee. Yesterday, Ohio Republican Mike Turner questioning former Ukraine envoy Kurt Volker about quid pro quo claims.
Did the President of the United States ever say to you that he was not going to allow aid for the United States to go to the Ukraine unless there were investigations into Burisma, the Bidens, or the 2016 elections?
No, he did not.
Did the Ukrainians ever tell you that they understood that they would not get a meeting with the President of the United States, a phone call with the President of the United States, military aid, or foreign aid from the United States unless they undertook investigations of Burisma, the Bidens, or the 2016 elections?
No, they did not.
President Trump blasting Democrats for ignoring critically important issues while pursuing what Mr. Trump characterizes as a politically motivated hoax.
What's going on is a disgrace.
The president saying that a crucial trade deal with Canada and Mexico languishes as the Democrats obsess over impeachment. The number of American combat-related deaths in Afghanistan this year has risen to 19. This after 2 U.S. service members died in a helicopter crash, the Pentagon dismissing Taliban claims of responsibility for that deadly crash. Surrounded by police, only about 50 or so protesters remain holed up on the campus of Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Meanwhile, schools in Hong Kong have reopened after a 6-day shutdown, although there are still mass transit disruptions across the city. Israel moving closer to a new election for the third time in less than a year. Israeli kingmaker politician Avigdor Lieberman refusing to endorse a candidate for prime minister. Wall Street, Dow futures down 82 points. NASDAQ futures off 31. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I couldn't sleep at night. All I could think about was my credit card debt.
I knew I couldn't get a loan, so the thought of owning a home or a new car seemed totally out of the question.
I was afraid to answer the phone, and I dreaded the mail.
It just felt like my credit card debt was this deep pool, and I was just drowning in it.
This might be you right now, and you should know you're not alone.
There is hope.
Right now, certified counselors at Trinity Debt Management are standing by and ready to help you, not judge you.
One call to 1-800-990-6976, and you'll find hope to live your life out from under the weight of credit card debt.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment.
Put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
A billionaire who shook up Thai politics by attracting millions of young supporters to his anti-establishment message been convicted of violating election laws.
Thailand's constitutional court said Mr. Thanatorn broke the rules by holding shares in a media company after registering to stand in the general election in March. The 40-year-old billionaire's Future Forward Party came third in the vote. Since then, he's emerged as the main voice of opposition to the military-dominated government in Thailand. Despite being suspended from Parliament pending this decision, he stands out in a country where criticism of the authorities has become more dangerous over recent years. Mr. Thanatorn also faces different criminal charges and could eventually be sent to prison.
The BBC's Michael Bristow, a Jewish group sharply condemning an auction of Nazi memorabilia in Germany. The European Jewish Association says it's wrong to make money off these blood-soaked items, especially in Germany, of all places. News and analysis, townhall.com. France's Beaujolais region is where winemakers and cellars uncork the season's Beaujolais Nouveau with feasting and fanfare, but that time is fast approaching. There are concerns this year.
The usually happy moment always arrives on the third Thursday of November, but considerable uncertainty is clouding this year's celebration of the idiosyncratic wine known for its youth rather than its age, as France's historic wine industry finds itself increasingly squeezed. A local expert, Dominique Piron, tells the Associated Press, today world commerce is complicated, especially in a period where the competition is strong. There's new American tariffs threatening profits, Brexit's looming, and China is turning to Chilean and Argentine wines instead. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Atlanta preparing to host the latest Democratic presidential candidates debate. Candidates who take to the stage tonight. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hello, this is Chris Ennis, Service Manager at Pinecrest Patriots Hyundai. We want to thank all of our loyal customers for entrusting us with the care and maintenance of their vehicles over the years. But did you know we also service Lexus, saving you a trip to Raleigh or Charlotte? In fact, our factory-trained and certified ASE technicians can service any type of vehicle. Your complete satisfaction is our #1 goal, so please consider Pinecrest Patriots Hyundai for all your vehicle service needs. We are open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and open on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We can be reached at 910-692-2424. We look forward to seeing you.
Serving more people, more places, 24/7. If your AC breaks down, we'll restore your indoor heaven. Installation or repair, one call will be there. It's your family, don't delay. Comfort's just a call away. We're Comfort Services. Comfort Services.
You've heard the comment, save your energy. Well, Comfort Services can save your energy bill and make your home more comfortable. Specializing in installation, HVAC, and comprehensive air quality services. Locally owned since 2003, Comfort Services is nationally certified and a Carrier Energy Expert dealer with highly qualified technicians. Go to ComfortServicesInc.com or call 910-695-2665 on Highway 5 next to Habitat in Aberdeen. 910-695-2665.
Comfort's just a call away. Comfort Services.
Aberdeen Prescription Shop is one of the best independent pharmacies. Despite nearby chain stores, customers prefer Aberdeen Prescription Shop. Personal service, drive-through window, and free delivery. All major insurance is accepted, including TRICARE. Order your prescriptions online at AberdeenRxShop.com and click on mobile for the free app or call 944-1313. Aberdeen Prescription Shop at the Town & Country Shopping Center on US 1.
Just what the doctor ordered.
At Sand Hills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art cheap straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sand Hills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sand Hills Collision Center, because you deserve the best. At John Law Power Sports and Automotive, retired police chief and owner Brian Beck wants to be your go-to for everything from tires, a clutch adjustment, to a rebuild with a whole lot of torque, and even detailing. Weekend bikers and professionals alike turn to John Law Power Sports and Automotive. Got a golf cart that needs fine-tuning? We fix that too. Military, retirees, law enforcement, and first responders receive discounted rates through John Law Power Sports and Automotive, which is why they're the trusted mechanics of Moore County's law enforcement community. Come in today for a free estimate. 212 Stanley Street in West End, or call 910-466-9169. John Law Power Sports and Automotive, sharing the pride in your ride.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. The news is brought to you by Blue Cross North Carolina Medicare. Over 85 years of experience caring for North Carolinians just like you. Ambassador Gordon Sondland testifies today in the House impeachment inquiry. He is a witness with the closest connection so far to President Trump and key figure in the administration's Ukraine policy. CBS News correspondent Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill.
His original story was disputed by so many other witnesses that he has already had to amend his closed-door testimony, and we anticipate he'll probably tweak some things again when he testifies publicly this morning.
After more than a century, a long-debated Confederate monument outside the Chatham County Historic Courthouse is no longer standing. Crews dismantled the monument, including the statue and pedestal, this morning.
It represents stuff that really never should have happened, and it kind of memorializes and makes it seem good. I and other people don't agree with that.
That's resident Anderson Ritter. Nearly 2 years after a double murder suspect, Daniel Minton, bonded out of jail, police say he was involved in a drive-by shooting in Lenore along with 2 other men. Minton was released from jail after a high-profile 2017 double murder in Hickory. Coco Myers lives near the shooting scene and tells WSOC News.
Bullets ain't got no names on, honey. That just and I mean right here, and we just live right there.
Stretching those dollars during this gift-giving season is often a holiday tradition that goes unsaid. But a new survey finds 1/3 of holiday shoppers say they would prefer not to give or even receive gifts just so they can avoid going into debt. Yvette Ramos is a personal finance site Wallet Hub representative.
We found that people are searching for new ways to lower the impact, even if it means changing core holiday traditions.
And Republican lawmakers are ready to unveil what private investigators found when they scrutinized an agreement between Governor Roy Cooper and utilities. You're listening to NCN News.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we have over 85 years of experience caring for North Carolinians like you. This year, during the Medicare annual enrollment period, we're proud to offer new benefits and lower premiums for 2020. Enrollment ends December 7th. Go to bluecoveragenc.com today to learn more about our $0 premium, $0 copay plans. That's bluecoveragenc.com. Medicare that cares back. That's the benefit of Blue.
2020 will be another big year for North Carolina politics. Republicans and Democrats will battle for the state's electoral votes. They'll compete for the governor's mansion, control of the General Assembly, and the top job in the state Supreme Court. Carolina Journal covers all the action. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation says the only state highway on Ocracoke Island will not reopen at the end of the week as originally planned. Crews are still working to repair damage to NC Highway 12. A Venice, California family is blaming FedEx for killing their beloved dog, Cooper.
Mitchell Gallons and Keiko Napier's. They're blaming a FedEx delivery person for the loss of their 4-pound Yorkie. They say this large box containing Crystal and his second Christmas present was thrown over their fence and into their Venice courtyard on Saturday when Cooper was sunbathing.
So I immediately picked up the box
and Cooper was in a puddle of blood.
Her vet told us she suffered serious injuries to her lungs and liver. The next day, Keiko and Mitchell chose to have her euthanized.
Guilford County Schools bus drivers say they have been fighting for pay raises for too long. Joshua Graham has been a GCS bus driver for 6 years and tells WFMY News they may go on strike.
So a lot of drivers were frustrated, and this is where we are today. What we plan on doing and what we really don't want to have to do is to have a walkout.
South Dakota is getting a $1.4 million lesson in what to do when an anti-drug campaign starts trending on Twitter. CBS News correspondent Jim Axelrod.
The arrow didn't hit the bullseye. The arrow went flying over the top.
Mike Paul runs Reputation Doctor, a crisis PR firm in New York. He disputes the old adage that all publicity is good publicity.
If you're trending on Twitter, not with excellence of awareness of educating those who are in crisis, time to eat some humble pie. It's time to change it.
But that's not the strategy of either South Dakota's governor or the firm that signed a nearly $1.4 million contract to produce and distribute the ad.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Temperatures this afternoon will be warmer compared to yesterday. We are going to head into the mid-50s and lower 60s, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine as high pressure builds into our region. Temperatures for tomorrow will be on the warmer side as well. Expect readings in the upper 50s and lower 60s. It'll be partly cloudy as those clouds gradually increase. We have a slight chance for seeing a few passing showers late on Thursday, and rain chances will ramp up going into Friday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, we're sunny and 43 degrees. Humidity 93%, 2.41, pressure 3009. Winds calm, visibility is at 8 statute miles. It's 8:14. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day. Moore County would be split for 2020 congressional elections between the 8th and 9th districts under a new map approved by the Republican-controlled North Carolina General Assembly. Provided it passes judicial muster, it will mark the third time Moore County has changed congressional districts in the last decade. The county was moved into the 8th district in 2016 under previous redistricting. In 2011, it was moved to the 6th and to the 2nd. And Democrats have filed a legal challenge to block implementation of the new maps. The House and Senate moved swiftly last Thursday and Friday to enact the new map strictly along party lines, with the December 2nd opening of the filing period looming. Moore County would be represented by two Republicans, U.S. Republican Senator Hudson in the 8th and U.S. Republican Dan Bishop in the 9th for the next 2 years until new ones are drawn next year based on the 2020 U.S. Census. The map carves out the more populous southern part of the county and moves it into the 9th district. That includes the residents in Pinehurst, Southern Pines, Aberdeen, Pine Bluff, Taylortown, West End, and Seven Lakes. It splits Whispering Pines and Eastwood precincts into the two congressional districts. The Carthage, Cameron, Bass, DHR, Little River, Robbins, and Westmore precincts would remain in the 8th district. Senator Tom McInnes, who represents Moore County, said he believes the split could benefit Moore County. He voted for the new maps. And the Carthage Board of Commissioners heard opposing views Monday on a proposed revision to the zoning of a previously approved subdivision. Pine Tree Estates was initially proposed by local developer Ron Jackson, who recently sold it to Richard Larson, who is changing the name to Tyson Trails. The builder, Larson, is working and builds homes in the $310,000 to $330,000 range, which is a higher price point than initially proposed. They requested a zoning variance to reduce the minimum lot width from 100 feet to 75 feet, which will permit them to add 6 additional homes to the 40 lots currently approved. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning from the Sand Hills Sentinel. To go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is new sports that's up next in the queue, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:17.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. College basketball last night. Devin Daniels scored 23 points to help NC State beat Elkhorn State 87-64. Markel Johnson added 16 for the Wolfpack, who scored the game's first 11 points on the way to their fourth consecutive win. Coach Kevin Keats after the game.
I thought we played good in stretches. My team's a little tired. We had 3 games this week, so we didn't have our traditional day off. We had to take 2 off the previous week. And so tomorrow I told everybody in the locker room to, stay away from basketball a little bit. They thought I was saying stay away from the academics, and I said, no, we're not doing that.
In top 25 action last night, number 4 Kansas beat East Tennessee State 75-63. Jalen Smith had 17 points and 8 rebounds, and number 6 Maryland used its depth and balance to wear down Fairfield 74-55. Number 7 Virginia withstood Vermont 61-55. Number 8 Gonzaga topped Texas Arlington 72-66, and number 25 Washington beat Maine 72-53. On the ice, Nino Niederreiter had a goal and an assist, and the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-2 to collect their 4th straight win. The Canes took a 3-0 lead into the third, but had to withstand a rally by the Blackhawks. Rod Brindamore talked after the game about the flurry in the third period, in which Patrick Kane assisted on 2 Chicago goals 75 seconds apart to make it a 1-goal game.
I thought the 2 periods we played as good as we probably could have, and then third we led up for a 2-on-1, like just with a guy, but not quite. And then all of a sudden they got some momentum, and you got a pretty good player over there. When you give him a little time, he picks you apart. So that's what happened. And then they got right back in the game suddenly. But we hung in there. I thought our penalty kill really came up huge, and then Peter made some big saves at the end when we needed him.
Last night's win gave the Hurricanes the franchise's first sweep of a regular season road trip that was at least 3 games in length.
The annual Big Tailgate Tour, driven by Continental Tire, is on the road again.
As North Carolina A&T hosts NC Central in the Aggie Eagle Classic this Saturday. Find our Continental Tire Toss next to BB&T Stadium, starting at 10 a.m. and leading up to the 1 p.m. kickoff.
Pick up free koozies, T-shirts, and more from Sport Clips and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us, BigTailgateTour.com.
The North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program and North Carolina High School Athletic Association would like to wish everyone a warm welcome back for the new school year. As you travel to and from school, head to sports games, or other after-school activities, be sure to exercise good judgment and buckle up. Remember, every seat, every time. It's the law. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association is proud to partner with the North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program. Remember to click it or ticket.
Just 4 games last night in the NBA. Golden State topped Memphis. New Orleans beat Portland. Sacramento topped Phoenix. And the LA Lakers out west, they edged out Oklahoma City 112-107. A slew of games last night in the NHL. Almost every team in action. Minnesota beat Buffalo 4-1. The Sabres just slumping after they jumped out to a super hot start at the beginning of the season. Columbus beat Montreal, and Florida edged Philadelphia. Boston over New Jersey easily 5-1, while the Islanders beat Pittsburgh in overtime. Ottawa bested Detroit. Winnipeg over Nashville. St. Louis beat Tampa Bay. Carolina over Chicago. We told you about that a moment ago. Dallas beat Vancouver 6-1. Colorado 3-2 over Calgary. Vegas beat Toronto, and Edmonton topped San Jose. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Neck, shoulder, or back pain can be downright debilitating. If you have those issues, you already know that, and you don't need me to tell you about the opioid crisis. There's another, better way. I'm talking about chiropractic, a healing art that's also science. Dr. Sharon Wright of Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes invites you to come in for a discussion about how chiropractic works and could work for you. To be sure, there are many of you out there that have reached the proverbial dead end trying to treat and manage your pain.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
November is a great time to purchase a new Honda from Leith Honda Aberdeen. Right now, get easy clearance pricing on all new 2019 models during the Happy Honda Days sales event. With a huge selection of vehicles, great prices, and no games or gimmicks, Leith Honda Aberdeen makes it easy for you. Our service department makes it quick and easy for you as well. We mean it when we say we're easy to get to and easy to deal with. Leith Honda Aberdeen, the name you can trust.
Great news. Right now at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen, everyone in the Sandhills can buy a vehicle like a factory employee. That's right. You can get employee pricing today on all new 2019 vehicles during the Black Friday sales event. Remember, at Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen, we make it easy for you, not only with buying a new vehicle, but when you service your vehicle as well. Leith Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Aberdeen. Easy to get to and easy to deal with. Have a great day today.
Jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza in the Cole Shopping Center and check out their new menu. In addition to the great selection of wood fire pizzas, Brick's Wood Fire Pizza has wood-fired wings in 3 flavors, delicious soup, pastas, salads, and sandwiches, all made fresh daily. Your choice of craft beers on tap or favorite wine, and a good place to meet your friends. Jump into the fire at Brick's Wood Fire Pizza, Cole Shopping Center, Southern Pines. Open every day, 11 a.m.
You can jump into the fire.
Here's another happy patient at Sandhills Weekend Dental in West End.
Hi there, my name is Gary, and I am a dental avoider-aholic, which means I avoid going to the dentist because of a deep-rooted fear of dentists that I've had since the early 50s when I was a child. Recently, that entire avoidance fear that is deep-rooted has been smashed when I met the staff and dentist, Dr. Terry Ann Sams. She did an amazing job to make me feel comfortable and confident with the approach that we were going to take together, figuring out what's going to work best for me and my budget and for me and my oral hygiene.
Sandhills Weekend Dental on Highway 211 just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday 9 to 4, Saturday 9 to 2. Call 910-687-4423, 687-4423.
Eat, kiss, and smile better.
If you or your loved ones are eligible for Medicare, you need to learn about First Medicare Direct from First Carolina Care Insurance, a wholly owned subsidiary of First Health of the Carolinas. First Medicare Direct offers plans starting as low as $0 per month, and they include more benefits than original Medicare, including a fitness center membership at no additional cost, dental and vision coverage, and a Part D prescription plan, eliminating the need to have another prescription plan. You get personal local service, and plans are available in Moore, Lee, Chatham, Montgomery, Polk, Scotland, and Richmond counties. Join the thousands in the Sandhills region who have chosen First Medicare Direct. Call 1-877-279-1732 for a free information kit. 1-877-279-1732 or go online to firstmedicare.com.
First Carolina Care is an HMO and PPO health plan with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in First Medicare Direct, HMO Plus, and First Medicare Direct PPO Plus depends on contract renewal. Other pharmacies, physicians, and providers are available in our network. For more information, contact the plan.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. My daughter has a German Shepherd named Colt. He's a great dog, a great member of the family. Yesterday morning, I was outside with him pretty early, trying to get him to do what you don't want your dog to do on the inside, no matter how much you love him. I was out in front and I yelled, "Come on, Colt, it's cold out here. Hurry up, do your business." Well, Colt turned around and looked at me like, "John, what in the world are you talking about? What business? Do I look like a businessman to you?" Well, I waited and I waited. And if you have a dog, you may know what I mean. Colt walked around, he sniffed the ground, he'd find a perfect spot, I'd be fooling to thinking as I froze there, and then he'd back up 1 inch before bombs away. Now, since I'm always thinking about the problems we have with our politicians, I couldn't help, and by that I mean this is not really my fault, but think of the following. Wouldn't it be nice if the people we elect took this much time doing the business we elect them to do? I wish they'd check each detail as closely as Colt does. I wish they'd investigate all the pros and cons before they launch our money. I wish they'd understand they're doing the business of the people who elected them, and they should take more care in how they do it. No crude jokes here, folks. I'm as serious as I've ever been in my life. I hope everybody has a wonderful day And if you have a dog, get out and play with them from the zoom wall zone.
High pressure will continue to filter into our area, and that will allow us to see warmer temperatures this afternoon and plenty of sunshine. Look for highs in the mid to upper 50s and lower 60s. By the time we get into tonight, we'll stay mostly clear, and tomorrow, a few more clouds will build into our region, and temperatures will be warmer in the upper 50s and lower 60s by the afternoon. Rain chances will ramp up by the time we get into the end of the week and this weekend. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Is it Wednesday morning? It's only Wednesday?
You know what time it is.
You know what time it is?
It's Tom time.
Wake up! The sun's shining.
I hate the sun. Oh, wake up.
Hurry, the sun's coming up. I know, sun bad.
Hey, seriously, you want to take it down a notch or two?
Take it down a notch or two.
Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, yeah, that's better.
All right, let's get the show on the road.
It's showtime.
Oh, yeah, baby. Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby. Here I am, signed, sealed, delivered.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Moore County. Hey, this morning we have an extended Zoom Walt Zone, and we have a very great show to put on for you today. So grab some coffee, sit down, turn up the volume on your radio. You're going to want to listen.
All right, you got your standing orders, and don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available to you at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link, or on your mobile device, your YouTube app does the work. You put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device looking just our audio stream, that's available to you with any streaming application such as TuneIn, iTunes, and Streamer. Just to name a few, put WEEB into the search. And you can always get it off of our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Just click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. It's going to be sunny today with a high of 61. Clear tonight, a low of 36 tomorrow. More of the same. Sunshine and 59. Friday, sunny and 66. Right now around the Sandhills, winds are calm. Visibility 8 statute miles. Pressure 3008, 2.41. Humidity 93%. It's sunny and 43 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:30, 30 past the hour on this Wednesday hump day, and this, of course, means it being Wednesday, it's time for the extended Zoom Walt Zone. And, John, you got a special guest this morning.
Oh, do we ever have a special guest? My voice is a little messed up, but it doesn't make any difference today because I'm going to be doing almost no talking. I want to introduce a man that most of you either know or have read about, have seen him on television. He's got way too many awards for me to mention, sits on way too many boards. We only have about a half hour, so I'd like for him to spend his time talking, telling us a little bit about his history, a little bit about it, what it was like, what he went through. You may remember he was one of the brave young men at the 1960 Greensboro Woolworth lunch counter sit-in. And that's about all I'm going to say, Clarence. I want to turn it over to you and say good morning, Clarence Henderson. It's an amazingly great honor to have you here today.
Good morning, John. It is indeed a pleasure to be on your show this morning. And I am delighted to share with your audience some of my story, which tells quite a bit about how I've arrived at the point in time that I am right now. I was born in a little town called Townville, South Carolina, where my father was a sharecropper. And ironically, he named me after that sharecropper who was white. And it helped set the tone for me to help bridge the gap between the races. I believe in divine intervention, so I think the time was set during that time for me to be involved with some of the things that I have done in my life. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about some of the things I have received, but first of all, I was born on what you would call the wrong side of the tracks, what a lot of people call it, but one of the things that I learned in life very early is that it's not where you come from, it's where you're going. So when I hear people making excuses for certain things, then I ask them, have they made an attempt to change their life? And so what happened with me is that just recently, I'll start from the present time back to times past. This past, I guess, almost 4 years, I have done invocation for our president on 4 or 5 different occasions. Have done invocation for the vice president on 3 or 4 different occasions. And I'm currently the president for the Frederick Douglass Foundation for the state of North Carolina that helps bring issues to the forefront of what is happening in various communities. And we teach people about empowerment, economic empowerment, enhancement, and how to have a better life in America. But prior to that, I was the chairman for the Martin Luther King Commission for the state of North Carolina. Now, you have to remember, this is a little guy that came from the wrong side of the tracks, and his parents only had a 3rd grade education. And although I have a college degree, I'm the only person in my immediate family that has a college degree, and that will be from now on because I'm the only person left in my immediate family. And so as things have progressed through my life and I look back over it, it's just amazing that some of the things have happened. But it's all God and not me. I grew up in an era of time known as Jim Crow. And for those members of your audience that do not know what Jim Crow laws were, they were laws of segregation, enforced laws that were on the books that said that we should be separated based on the color of our skin, not by any behavior, but by what a person looks like. And there's a big difference between a person's behavior and just the makeup. So we were judged based on that we were not yet human beings, inferior human beings, if you would. And so I lived through that era of time, which caused the birthing of civil rights movements, which started before my time. But I was living in a time that was part of that. Now, what has happened since then, they're widened the road, and they have what you call now the new civil rights movement. Is the LGBTQ movement. I've begged to differ with that because there's a difference between a right and a behavior. I won't belabel that, but having grown up in the era of time known as Jim Crow, I never went to an integrated school. I was bused most of my life out of one neighborhood into another because when we first came to North Carolina, we lived in a quote-unquote black neighborhood. Well, it was a black community. And about the 3rd grade, my father moved us over where for a point of contact over into what is known as UNCG Greensboro, off of Spring Garden Street, and at that time it was known as Women's College. Well, ironically, what happened was that we moved from the black community, and this is back in the 40s, into what was known as the white community, where it was like there were 4 houses and we lived like in a cul-de-sac, except it wasn't, we didn't have a street road to go back, and there was sort of like a little path to get back into these 4 houses, and we were surrounded by white neighbors. And so I was bused out of that neighborhood back over to the black school that I had attended before, passing all these schools there where white kids went to school. So during lunchtime, I played with the black kids, but when I got home, being surrounded by white kids, the white kids would come to my house, and we would play various sports, and we never even had an argument, and their parents didn't know where they were, And so I found out at that point that racism is not a person not born as a racist. Is something that is a learned behavior. And so we played, and I put up later on as I grew, I put up a basketball court, goal, and also the yard was big enough where we could play baseball. So we played all these various sports. And one of the things I hear people talking about now is busing. But busing did not prevent me from growing up in an environment that was very conducive to the things that I've done in my life, because what busing did was it took me out of one neighborhood into another neighborhood where I was able to see things that I would not have seen just in my neighborhood. Because when I was bused, my stop was the very first stop. But later on, the bus driver asked me, did I want to stop at the first stop, or did I want to ride all the way around him and come back, so it would be the last stop. And so that's how I began to see a part of Greensboro that I had never seen before. Now, what I saw is when my father came to Greensboro, and he was my hero, but I didn't know it until late on in life, unfortunately, because when he came to Greensboro, he left from being a tenant farmer to working on cars, being a mechanic in business for himself, and never worked for anybody except himself. And I should see the car dealerships in Greensboro, some of them bring cars to my father because they could not repair them or fix them, and he could repair them or fix them, and he didn't have the piece of paper on the wall like their mechanics did. So he had this skill set that God gave him, that he was able to do that, because if he heard it run, he could tell you what was wrong with it. That was before they put all the bells and whistles on it. So here's this man with his third grade education, able to provide for himself, a wife, and 3 kids, and only having a third grade education because he understood the American system, which is the free market capitalistic system. If people need to understand that system, and it shows you where you can, the opportunity you have to go to in life. But growing up in the era time that I grew up in was just a certain understanding that there were certain things that you did not do when it comes to in reference to races. Because one of the things that would happen is that, you know, as a black child, you didn't look in the eyes of say whites, because it was something like we were supposed to be a little less than. But even though that did happen, the things that I saw was that my father did a lot of interacting with a lot of whites, because he worked on a lot of different cars. So one of the particular instances I remember is that he had rented this bay place to do mechanic work from this guy that had a garage where they did all kinds of mechanic work there. And this guy, my dad, who was white, the guy was white, became very good friends, and we didn't have a TV at this time. And so on various times, this guy, his name was Colin Marsh, he would invite my dad to come to his house and watch the fights. And my little brother and I would go with my dad, and we would sit on the floor of this guy's house, and my dad and this guy would sit in the chairs. And one of the fights I remember was it was between Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano. And my dad is pulling for Joe Louis, and he's pulling for Rocky Marciano. And they were very, as I said, very great friends. Some of the reasons why I said my father was my hero is because I never saw him. He never drank. He never smoked. He never did all those guys. I never heard him curse. I remember I can hear him praying right now. He would pray every night, and I could hear him while I was in my room when he was praying.
Clarence, there's never a good time to interrupt you, but let me take a second to remind people that we're listening to Clarence Henderson, one of the great men of the Civil Rights Movement and one of the veterans of the 1960 Greensboro War Wars lunch counter sit-in. So that's who we're listening to. Clarence, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'll bring you up to the time of the War Wars sit-in, which I participated in. There's a picture that's gone all around the world of 4 students sitting at the lunch counter in downtown Greensboro, North Carolina, at Woolworths. And that picture, I'm the fourth student on the right-hand side. That picture was on the second day. And I'll share with you how I arrived at that point. When I was growing up in Greensboro, I used to go downtown with my mom, and one of the places we would go would be Woolworths. Now, there was only two places that were different in Woolworths. One was upstairs and one was downstairs. If you went downstairs, they had two bathrooms, one saying colored and one saying white. And they had two water fountains, one saying colored and one saying white. And I used to look at the water and try to see what the difference was because they looked the same. But because one said white, the one that said white, I couldn't drink out of that water fountain, and the bathroom that said white, I couldn't use that bathroom. And then when you went upstairs, everything was the same except for one particular area, and that was the lunch counter, where we as blacks could not sit at that lunch counter. We could purchase food, but we had to go to the back and order our food there, pay the same price, but we couldn't sit at the lunch counter. And so I dealt with that all my life of these various kinds of situations. And then when I went all the way from the first grade to my senior year, and I always wanted to be, never wanted to go any place except A&T State University, which was A&T State College at that time, because I loved their band. As a matter of fact, I used to be a member of the marching band at one point in time at A&T. And so there was one particular young man that I grew up with. His name was Ezel Blair. And he was one of the, what they quote-unquote call original four that sit at the lunch counter. And that was on February 1st, 1960. And I got involved on February 2nd. Now, what happened with me is that those four students lived on campus, and I didn't, so I didn't find out about what happened on the first day until the second day when Ezel Blair came down to Bluefield Library, down to the lounge, which was a lounge at that particular point in time, and told me what had happened and asked me if I would participate. He said, now, if we were able to eat, then I'll buy your lunch. Well, needless to say, he still owes me a lunch because I never ate at that lunch counter. But what happened was on that second day, it was beginning, that was the second day of somewhere around 176 days of a people fighting against the oppression of Jim Crow. Now, as I had said before, I had been in Woolworths a number of times, and that's a thing in life which you call defining moments. And by definition, a defining moment in your life is when you are urged to make a pivotal decision, or when you experience something that fundamentally changes your life. Well, everybody has defining moments. Those moments don't define you. It's what you do during those moments. That's what defines you. And so on this particular day, we walked from A&T State campus to downtown Greensboro, and I walked into Woolworths with a different concept, a different feeling than I ever had before in my life. If you can picture this, walking into a place where you don't know how you're going to come out, whether you would be in a vertical position or a prone position. Vertical meaning in handcuffs, going to jail, or in a prone position whereby that you'll be either going to the hospital or to the morgue. So it changed my perception about life. And so what happened was that these four students on the first day walked in the F.W. Woolworths. Now, why did they walk in the F.W. Woolworths? And when you see the four students at sitting at the lunch counter, the very first student is a guy by the name of Joseph McNeil. Now, Joseph McNeil was from, and I think he still lives there, he was from New York, the state of New York. And on that particular, somewhere around that particular December, I think it was, he came back home from Christmas break, and he was hungry, and was at Union Bus Station in downtown Greensboro, and they had a restaurant there, and he asked to buy something to eat, and they wouldn't serve him. So he went back to campus and talked to the other three guys about what had happened, and that's when the decision was made. Now, prior to that, there was a guy by the name of Ralph John, which is most people don't know about him. It's not anything in the history books in reference to it, that had been urging various students from A&T that we should do something in reference to segregation. Now, Ralph was a person that owned a clothing store near the campus of A&T, and a lot of clothes he purchased was out of places like New York, and, the guys wanted to look different from anybody else, and so he had been constantly talking to various students about doing something. And finally, when he talked to Joseph McNeil said, I'm going to do something, but and later on he did, and he stopped by on the way up there, and he told Ralph John what he was going to do on that particular day. And so that's how it got started. And so he was at the forefront of the idea of doing it. And so on the second day, there were two students that were there on the first day, were not sitting down the second day. And one of the things they were looking at is in case if any of us got arrested, that they would be able to let people know so that somebody could go out bond. And so here we sit at this lunch counter, and all kind of things are going on around us. First, there's a tension, there's an atmosphere unlike anything that I'd ever seen before, and you would have lived and know what it was like, where we would call all kinds of names, people saying all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, the KKK came in. There was a bomb threat. Some people went to jail. There were all kinds of disruptions. At one point in time, you had some 500 people down at Woolworths in there where it was just basically standing room only. And by the grace of God, no riot or anything broke out, and that was the expectation. So the thing was is that you've heard this thing about when people get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So this was a movement of a people, for a people, and by a people that decided that they wanted to make some changes in their life. And one of the things I thought about during that time was the people saying that before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Now, but here's what actually changed and caused. There's a universal language throughout this country and throughout the world, and it's called money. Economics is what changed the city and caused the integration to happen, because there were people like Dr. Willoughby Player, who was the president for Bennett College at Women's College in Greensboro, that went to and the place one of the places she had a credit card was at Ellis Stone, and she tore up her credit card in front of the people and said, "I will no longer shop here if we're not allowed to eat at the lunch counter across the street." So Woolworths lost somewhere around, it was said around $200,000 during that time, which would be in the millions during this time right now. So it was economics that drove it. Now, as I said before, I never ate at that lunch counter, but I set that up for other people to be able to eat there. Now, somewhere around July 21st, 22nd, I can't remember exactly which date it was, they had 3 blacks that worked there behind the counter in the kitchen that they were the first 3 to eat at the lunch counter. Now, what happened was that during this time, the A&T students had gone home for summer break, but students from Dudley High School, which was an all-black school, which I attended prior to going to A&T, were the ones that were sitting at the lunch counter actually when it was integrated. Also, in addition to this, and this is something that's not talked about that much, there were a few students that came from some of the white colleges that participated also, such as I said before, UNCG. Some of the women came from there, and Greensboro College, a few came from there, and also Guilford College, all white schools. And so there was a participation of a people that saw what was happening to us, and participated of people that the things was actually happening to. And so we picked Woolworths. Woolworths was picked because it was a chain store, and we hoped that it would catch on across the southeastern part of the United States, and it did. It even went so far as New York, where they were already integrated, but they did a sit-in because of the cause that we were participating in. So we had this great movement where we put Jim Crow on trial, and Jim Crow was found guilty of segregation. And I think it was in 1964, that law was taken off the books. And so now at this time, when I hear people talking about racism, I basically tell them that actually you don't know what racism is all about, because you should have been there when during the era time that I lived and understood what we went through. And so there are far too many people in America that have cut their teeth on the comfort of security, and far too few that have cut their teeth on the true grit of courage is required for freedom's sake. So for those of us that went through what we went through to carry people over to be where they are right now, owe it to the people coming behind us to share with them what it was like during that era of time, which is far different from this era of time. What I've seen happen in the last few years, I've seen people create or develop racism, which does not really exist, because if we don't have a law on the books in reference to racism, segregation, all these kind of things, then it's the people that you deal with. Not on an individual basis do you find this? Yes, but I don't have a problem with that. Here's the reason why I don't, is because I don't allow anyone to occupy any space in my mind because they haven't paid any rent to be there. And so if you have racism in your heart and your mind, that's your problem and not mine. And when I see, for example, a profession such as policemen labeled as racist and bigots, I take issue against that, because my oldest brother, who's deceased, spent 19 years with the police department in Greensboro, North Carolina, and he dotted every I and crossed every T. And so here's this guy that almost lost his life in Korea because he got injured there. He got hit with a hand grenade, and a bullet that went straight through him, and couldn't raise his arm for a while and to rehabilitation. But he left there and came back and was able to be a part of the police department in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so after my first year at A&T, I dropped out. I was determined I was no longer going to live here in the South. And so what happens, I worked a couple of years, and then I moved to New York, and I love New York. Things were great there. You didn't have the kind of situation you had in Greensboro, North Carolina. And what happened was that never say what you will or will not do. During that time, they had what is known as a draft, where each male signed up. And if your lottery number was picked, then you were drafted into the military. And so I'm in New York having this great time managing a shoe store on 125th Street, about 5 doors from the Apollo Theater, and seeing people like Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Sidney Poitier. And as a matter of fact, one time even met Robert Kennedy when he was running for president. My mother and father get a letter at home from Uncle Sam. And my mother sends a letter back and tells them, well, he no longer lives here. She never gave them my address because I don't even know if she remembered what it was. But ironically, about a month or 6 months from there, 6 weeks from there, I got a letter where I was living on 117th Street in New York saying Uncle Sam wants you. And so I went down and took the physical and went through all the things that you go through, and it was 3 of us that were from North Carolina that were there at the same time. Well, I was the only one that they decided that Uncle Sam needed me. So what happened was that when it was time for me to go in, they sent me. I went down.
Clarence, I could listen to you all day, but when the time is up, it's up, and I am so sorry to have to cut that off. Could you? We've got less than a minute left. Would you just say anything you want to say? Any advice for young people growing up today?
The advice I would give the young people is that, listen, America offers a great opportunity. The question is, will you take advantage of the opportunity? You have to be an optimist to do that. You have to see the glass half empty. And that half full glass represents the opportunity for America. You put yourself over into that glass, and whatever comes out is the opportunity. It belongs to you. You got to understand the American system. If you don't understand the history and know the history of America, you're a citizen in name only because you don't know how to live a productive life in America and don't understand what America's all about.
Okay. Well, folks, we've had Clarence Henderson, a true American legend. Clarence, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You know how much I admire and respect you. And we'll talk again. And this has been a very quick 30 minutes. Thank you very much. And say hello to your wife.
Listen, you have a great day.
You too.
All right. Thank you, Clarence. And so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Ward County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fallen. They have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the Leader Man and Nick and Colt the Dog will all see you at the Sunday Dog Park this afternoon at 2.